Hi Rockstars, welcome back to my channel. On today's tutorial, we'll be having a lovely moment together. And for those of you that are joining for the first time, you are welcome to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the.
Let's start the sewing of our danshiki. So to start the sewing, just fold your fabric into two, and that's just fold the middle part of your danshiki. You remember I said I may be adding embroidering to this danshiki. If you are not adding embroidering, is fine. Just notch the middle part of it the way you see me doing. That's the center part of your danshiki, the most wide part of it. If you don't understand this, please go to the old video on the cutting. That's where I explain the cutting of this danshiki. Then you understand. When I'm done notching both sides of it, it will stand at as the shoulder. Then I take my sleeve. You remember this sleeve? Then I'm checking here for the design on my fabric, because one is going down, the design on the fabric, and one is going up, and I have to check the sleeve together with the bodies of my danshiki, so that it will be equal, and it will, like, the design on each will be equal by the time I'm joining it, and it will be appropriate. It will be equal, and it will look so good and well on my client. So that's what I'm checking right here. And you take the sleeve too, fold it into two, and notch both side of it. Both side at the up, notch the middle, the center part of it. Then I will be laying, right now I'm laying the middle, that is the middle, the bodies. Let me use it as body, this big part of it. The bodies, I'm laying it on my table. Then I'll make sure the wrong side of that bodies is facing the wrong side of my sleeve. Then I'll be joining the notch part of both together. That is, I'm making use of one of the notch part of the shoulder part, and not one part of the notch part of the sleeve too. So I'll be letting it to face each other. Right now, I'll be making use of my pin. Why? Yeah, because I'm doing this tutorial. If it was for me to sew on my own, I don't need to pin it down. But you as a beginner will be needing this pin, especially beginners. Take your pin and just pin down half inch all through, from up down, all through. Pin half inch. Why? Yeah, because this half inch will be what will be sewing on our machine. Do the same thing to the other side of your bodies and the second sleeve. So right now, I'm on my machine. I'm on the machine to sew it. When you are to sew it, start from this shoulder part and fold the half inch the way you see me doing. I'll be folding the half inch, because we'll be sewing this half inch, like I said. And mind you, you can just start from the shoulder. So from the shoulder, before you start the sewing from the shoulder, take your tape rule and take the measurement of your waistline. And this is what I'm doing right now, and I chalked it, or you mark it. After I've marked or chalked the waistline, why am I chalking that or taking the measurement of my waistline? The sewing will end here. It will start at this point that you see me, this particular point, that's the shoulder point, and it will end down where I chalked. But please, when you're sewing, sew on this side, that's the sleeve side. Do not sew on the bodies. Again, do not sew the half inch on the body. And there's a way we're going to sew this half inch. You can just use your thumb, that's your finger, right, rather, to pick the half inch. So to pick it together, then you fold it. It's not that tricky this time. Just use your two finger to pick it, then you sew it. And when you are sewing, don't sew on that two inches. I mean, sorry, don't sew on that half inch, that 0.5. Sew on this tip. Don't sew here, right here. No, don't sew at that half. That's the half inch I pin. Don't sew there. Don't sew there. Sew at this. No, don't sew at this area. Sew at the tip of it. I'll show you right now. Just come. So at this tip, the way I'm putting my finger, then you sew it down to where you chalk or mark. Do the same thing at the other sleeve too, and at the other side of the bodies. But don't sew it by laying your fabric flat this way. Don't sew it this way. Look at how I'll be turning my fabric right now. I'll make sure the two is facing each other. The wrong side of the two is facing each other, right? Yeah. Then I'll place it this way. You can see the two is facing each other. The two fabrics are facing each other. That's the sleeve and the bodies. Then I match it together and I let it face this way. You can see the wrong side of the two is facing each other. And mind you, I'll be sewing the half inch on I'll be letting it to face. Just make sure it's facing the sleeve anytime you want to sew it. Make sure it's facing the sleeve this way, and I'll be sewing at the tips again. I repeat, at the tips of it, tip of it, not that's at the edge of it, the edge, the beginning of that half inch I pin down, not at the half inch itself. Go, 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 go. I'm sorry if that's for my language. You won't be sewing at the, I'm serious, at the, sorry about that, at the 1 inch. At me at the half inch, you'll be sewing at the beginning of that half inch. Yeah, right here I already did this. I did this sewing off camera so that this video won't be too long. It won't be too long, and I'll be ending it at this point. You remember where I said I choke, where my waistline ends. So I'll be ending the sewing there. So definitely after the sewing, we'll be having, I'll do the same thing at the other part, all the part of it. I'll end it at the waistline where I chalked, because I chalk everything. I took it from the shoulder line. I took the measurement from the shoulder line and I ended it where my waistline, the waistline of my client is. So I ended the sewing there. So after I was done doing that, you would now take the old dashiki and lay it flat this way. Then that half inch that you sew, you fold it again. The one you sew, that particular one you sew, you lay it and make sure, also make sure it is facing the sleeve. Then I'll sew it also to where the opening. You can see we now have 4 openings. Two at the front, two at the back. The open where the open side where it will be open. Then I'll sew it this way. I'll come to this side, so I'll sew it to the sleeve. The other side, too, I'll sew it to the sleeve. You understand? Mind you, you remember I said you're sewing at the beginning when I first sew this half inch. It will not be at the beginning. And before you do this second sewing, you have to go to your table and iron the wrong side and the right side of your of your dashiki. So don't sew at this side, sew at this side, the beginning, or is it tip of beginning, sew at that side and sew it to where it ends. Now, when you're done doing that, take your gore. You remember this gore that we cut, that was like a triangle, or that was in this form anyway. For the upper side of it, the beginning of it, at that 1 inch opening, that 1 inch we cut. You remember, if you don't know about the how we got here, just go to the cutting of the video on the cutting, then you understand. Take your gore and fold the smaller part of it, which is the upside. Then start the sewing. But before you start the sewing, we'll be attaching it to the bodies of the dashiki and also to the sleeve. But before you start sewing, pin down half inch also. That is, your goal will be at the beginning. I mean at the middle. It will be like intermediate at the middle of both your sleeve, of this sleeve, and the bodies. So I've attached it with the body and I've attached it with the sleeve right here. I'm pinning it to the sleeve right now. So the goal will be at the middle, at the opening side. I told you there will be a 4 opening side. So I'm doing one first. You'll be doing the same thing to all the gore. You remember we cut 4 gore, the 4 pieces of gore. So you'll be attaching it. And make sure this time around, this half inch you pin down will be facing, you take it this way, and the sewing will be facing, and you'll be sewing it on the gore. And the facing of your sewing tool will be on the gore. So you'll be sewing the tip, the edge of that zero point 0.5, the half inch too on the gore. This time around, it will not be on the sleeve, it will be on the gore. You can see this one is not even tricky. It is so easy, like ABC. No tricky there. You just have to use, be intelligent and wise with your sewing. You do the same thing to other gore. And when you are the other side of that same gore you're sewing, you remember you attach it, you pin half inch also as well with the bodies of your fabric. Also sew it the same way you sew it just now. Sew it while it's facing the gore. When you are done doing that, just take your just see what I'm doing. When you are done doing that, see what I'm doing right now. Please just see what I'm doing right now. So when I'm done doing that, I sew it again. The half inches that I folded, I'm sewing. You remember I sew it to the gore. So you can see I'm flipping it again. After this first sewing, I'm flipping it again to the gore, just to give it. We call this stitches, this seam stitching stitches. There's a name we call it, but I've forgotten. So you'll be sewing it on the gore too, all over. Do your four gore, like I said, this way. Why are we adding gore to this kind of design, to this kind of danshiki design? It's for your danshiki to have a kind of flay at the after to have a kind of flay at the at after the waistline. We have a kind of flay, like a flare. I say flare, like a flare or flay, to just make it more wider. When you're done doing that, just take your extension. When you're done doing the four, take your extension, and we're about to add our extension now. All you just do is go back to that your waistline, which mine is 16 inches for my client here. Go to the beginning, that is the shoulder of your client, that is the starting point, that's the shoulder of your danshiki. I'm taking the measurement of the 16 inches again, this way, and I'll be chalking it or mark it. Do you understand? Use your own client measurements or use your own measurements, not mine. Mine is 16 here from the up. Then after I've chalked both side of it, and I did the same thing at the left hand side to both side, front and back. Then you will lay your dashiki flat on your machine. Take your extension. You remember this extension of 3 inches. Take it and fold it as well, the way you fold your gore. This time around, we are trying to close the side of our dashiki, just like the way we always close our dresses or our shirt or our stitches at the side. But it is the extension we'll be using to close it by following the way I'm doing. You just have to fold it at the up side, then pin it by half inches as well, with the pin it by half inch together with the together with the bodies, and together with the other bodies. Together with the sleeve, both side of the sleeve. The sleeve is open all through. Just to close it, that was why we took measurement of our waistline again at the sleeve part, at the sleeve area, and we chalked it. So this is where you'll be adding your extension by half inch, and you'll be adding it this way, just the way you added the gore just now. You'll be Make sure the half inch is sewn together on the extension. When you're done sewing it, you should have something like this, and like this, the open side where your arm will enter and come out from. So you should be having something like this. All the sewing should be at this point, should be on the extension. So when you're done doing that, just go again and sew all around again. You remember when we sew like this at the extension and at the sleeve too, we sew it again. We flip the sewing, the zero point 0.5, we flip it on either the sleeve while we were doing the sleeve, and the extension, the gore, while we were doing the gore, we did the same thing. We flip it on the gore. Yeah, you flip it on the extension, and you sew. When you're done doing that, sew the sleeve and the bottom area 2.5 inches that we added, and you sew it, and you are done. You sew it all around by 2.5 inches. Then you are done with your dashiki. Hope you love this tutorial. So see you on my next